The secret law behind every billionaire is not luck, nor ruthless ambition. It is not buried in market trends or whispered in exclusive boardrooms. The true secret is spiritual, it is divine, it is law. What you see in the external world, the skyscrapers, private jets, the empires, they are merely shadows of what was first seen in the realm of the invisible. Every true billionaire, whether knowingly or unknowingly, has aligned themselves with an unseen force, a law so precise, it governs the stars and orchestrates abundance. Before wealth manifests in form, it must first take root in spirit. The outer world is simply a reflection of the inner world, and the law says, as within, so without. Wealth is a state of consciousness. It is not something you chase, but something you allow. It does not respond to force, it responds to faith. Faith is the substance of wealth unseen, the evidence of what is yet to come. Every billionaire is a master of imagination, even if they do not call it that. They hold an unwavering picture of prosperity in their minds. They see the invisible, and because they see it, it becomes visible. The law works not by hustle but by harmony. There is a perfect pattern of supply, and to align with it is to step into effortless flow. You are not meant to grind endlessly in toil. You are meant to speak the word, align with truth, and let the floodgates of abundance be opened unto you. If one wishes to unlock the same law, they must first clear away the false beliefs that block supply. Thoughts of fear, doubt, limitation, and unworthiness are the only real poverty. The mind must be cleansed of these illusions, for there is no lack in divine mind. The universe is not withholding, it is waiting. Waiting for you to claim what is already yours by divine right. Speak these words daily. I now draw into my life the riches that belong to me by divine inheritance. I do not beg, I do not struggle. I receive with ease and thanksgiving. Watch how doors open where there were walls. Watch how the impossible bows before you. This is not magic, it is law. You must become what you wish to attract. To be rich, think richly. To receive generously, give generously. The hand that gives is never empty. When you circulate money with joy, it returns pressed down, shaken together, and running over. The miser lives in fear of loss. The abundant soul lives in faith of infinite return. A billionaire thinks in terms of multiplication, not subtraction. They are not obsessed with cost. They are inspired by value. They do not ask, what can I afford? They declare, money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways, and it is always enough and more. To work this secret law, you must eliminate the words of lack from your vocabulary. Never say, I can't afford it. Say, it is not yet in my experience, but it is on the way. Never say, money is hard to make. Say, money flows to me like a mighty river. Your word is your wand. Your spoken word sets forces in motion. Declare what you desire, and then step into the vibration of already having it. And yet, wealth is not just about money. It is about vision. A billionaire serves humanity in some form. The secret law only blesses when you are aligned with purpose. Purpose is the engine behind divine supply. You must ask, what am I here to give? And not just, what can I gain? For when you serve with a clean heart and an open hand, the whole universe rushes to support your cause. The game of life is not won by competition, but by alignment. What is yours is yours. What belongs to another cannot be taken. When you live from this truth, jealousy vanishes, comparison dissolves, and peace takes its place. You begin to walk in confidence, knowing that your supply is secure, your future is sure, and your riches are on their way. Speak to your prosperity. Call it forth. Say, I am one with the infinite source. Money loves me. Opportunities seek me. Wealth surrounds me. Everything I need is already within me. Hold these truths. Do not look to the outer world for validation. Do not be shaken by temporary appearances. When the bank account is low, declare abundance. When the doors seem shut, affirm, All that is mine by divine right is now released and reaches me in great avalanches of abundance. Be still and know that supply is spiritual. Be still and know that you are already rich. In divine mind, there is no delay. Only in the lower mind does time exist. The spiritual law works by declaration, expectation, and unwavering faith. The secret law behind every billionaire is this: they have mastered belief. They have taken dominion over thought, refused to fear, and dared to hold a vision until it took form. You too are capable of this. The law plays no favorites. It is as ready to fill your cup as it is to overflow theirs. But your cup must be ready, your mind must be open, your heart must be willing. Say daily, I am aligned with divine wealth. All the riches of the universe flow through me now. I expect miracles, and I receive them with joy. Know that nothing is too good to be true. Nothing is too wonderful to happen. Nothing is too rich to be yours. The moment you align with truth, the heavens open, and the law begins to work. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Now is the appointed time. Let go of striving and step into receiving. Let go of fear and step into faith. Let go of limitation and step into the infinite. The secret is no longer hidden. It is written in your spirit. Speak it. Believe it. Embody it. And it shall come to pass. Every fortune that ever came into being was first born in the invisible. Before the billions appeared in the bank, before the companies formed, before the wealth was ever counted, it was first imagined. Every empire you see was once a dream, a thought, a bold inner vision. There is a law that governs this truth, and it is unwavering. ***, nothing manifests in the outer world unless it is first formed in the mind and accepted in the spirit. ***, the billionaire's wealth did not start with a product, a sale, or an investor. It started with a belief. A quiet, persistent inner knowing that wealth was already theirs, that they were destined to have it, that it belonged to them by right of consciousness. The outer world is merely a reflection. It echoes back to us what we truly believe within. It cannot give what we have not first accepted. If the inner world is filled with doubt, fear, and unworthiness, the outer world will mirror scarcity. If the inner world is filled with vision, faith, and unshakable confidence, the outer world has no choice but to respond with provision. This is not philosophy. It is not wishful thinking. It is law, and the law is as exact as gravity. When you understand this, you stop chasing money and start mastering your inner vibration. You stop asking how, and you start declaring what. The mind is the workshop of creation. The heart is the magnet of desire. When these two are aligned with unwavering belief, miracles unfold. The unseen realm is more real than what the five senses can grasp. It is in the unseen that every billionaire first touched their wealth. They saw it in the invisible and walked with it as if it were already present. They did not wait for evidence. They created the evidence by holding the vision longer than doubt could last. They spoke riches, they breathed success. They believed even when no one else did. And because they believed, the law responded. Imagination is not childish. It is not fantasy. It is the blueprint of destiny. The world teaches you to be realistic, but spiritual law teaches you to be expectant, to imagine boldly, to see with the eyes of faith. What you see in your mind's eye and accept as real will eventually clothe itself in physical form. You are the architect, your thoughts are the design, your emotions are the power source, your words are the builders. When all are in agreement, manifestation is inevitable. The true secret is not in a strategy, but in a state of being. It is not about doing more, but about thinking from the end. To think from wealth is more powerful than working for wealth. When you live in the feeling of already having it, the universe rearranges itself to reflect your inner world. Billionaires are not worshippers of money. They are masters of energy. Whether they understand spiritual terms or not, They live by the vibration of abundance. They expect success. They walk in certainty. They do not entertain thoughts of failure, and if they do, they quickly correct them. This is why two people can have the same education, the same opportunities, the same resources, and yet produce completely different outcomes. It is not external variables that determine success, it is inner programming. One sees lack, and the other sees overflow. One sees barriers, the other sees breakthroughs. The difference is not the world. It is the lens through which the world is perceived. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a creator of experience. You are not at the mercy of the economy. You are governed by divine economy, which never runs dry. When you close your eyes and visualize wealth, you are not daydreaming. You are activating law. When you speak words of prosperity over your life, you are setting spiritual forces into motion. When you feel the joy of already having what you desire, you are magnetizing it to you. The delay is never in the universe. The delay is in our belief. The moment you fully accept the vision, the outer begins to shift. Billionaires do not wait for permission to think big. They decide, and that decision shifts their vibration. They speak from the end. They act from the end. They live from the end. The reason this law seems hidden is because so few believe in it long enough to see results. Most people waver. They begin in faith, then fall into doubt. They plant the seed, then dig it up with worry. But the ones who become great are the ones who water the seed daily with conviction. They hold the picture in their mind when nothing around them looks like it's working. They speak abundance even in the valley. They act wealthy before the wealth arrives. And because they do, the law must obey. It cannot deny a sustained vibration. It must match it. It must multiply it. The billionaire mind is not addicted to evidence. It is addicted to vision. Evidence is the slowest form of truth. Vision is the fastest. Evidence comes after belief, never before. You must learn to believe before you see. Speak before it appears. Walk before the door opens. That is how spiritual law is activated. Billionaires are not more deserving. They are more decisive. They have decided to believe. They have decided to accept. And that decision becomes a magnetic force that pulls opportunities, ideas, people, and resources into their orbit. You are no different. You have the same access to the law, the same power to think, the same ability to feel, the same capacity to imagine. What separates those with billions from those without is not luck, birthright, or fate. It is consciousness. The inner reality they have mastered becomes the outer life they now enjoy. Wealth was never outside of them. It was always within. It always starts within. The throne of wealth sits in the heart and the mind, and whoever rules there rules the world around them. The world will tell you to hustle harder. But the law tells you to align deeper. Alignment is more powerful than action. Action without alignment is struggle. Action with alignment is flow. The billionaire does not work from scarcity. They work from vision. They do not act from fear. They act from fullness. This is why their actions multiply. They are not driven by lack. They are guided by purpose, and purpose backed by vision is unstoppable. You must begin to walk through life as if the invisible is more real than the visible. When you do this, your posture changes, your speech changes, your energy shifts. People respond to this vibration. Doors respond. The market responds, not because of arrogance, but because of alignment. You have stepped into the rhythm of divine creation, and all that is yours begins to flow toward you without resistance. The mind must be reprogrammed to see what is possible. The subconscious must be filled with images of prosperity, not poverty. You cannot build wealth with a mind programmed for survival. You must feed your spirit daily with words of truth. Speak aloud. Asterisk asterisk. I am the vessel of unlimited supply. I walk in the vibration of wealth. Everything I touch prospers. Asterisk asterisk. These are not empty phrases. They are spiritual tools. They are keys that unlock the vaults of divine abundance. When the picture in your mind becomes more dominant than the picture in your surroundings, you are close. When your feelings align with the future you have imagined, you are touching it. When your words reflect the riches you are calling in, you are already there. This is the inner wealth that precedes outer wealth, and once it is established within, the outside must conform. Do not be distracted by appearances. Appearances are deceiving. They are old news. The current reality is just the delayed echo of past beliefs. If you want something new, you must believe something new. Think new thoughts. Feel new emotions. Speak new words, and most of all, persist. Do not stop imagining until it becomes substance. Do not stop declaring until it becomes form. The billionaire mind knows that the unseen is more powerful than the seen, and they live by that law daily. They honor the invisible more than the visible. They respect the whisper of intuition more than the noise of the crowd. They obey the inner knowing more than the outer evidence, and so their lives become extraordinary. Divine law does not respond to hustle. It responds to alignment. It does not respond to striving, stress, or manipulation. It responds to the vibration you hold and the belief you embody. At the root of every great fortune, every massive breakthrough, every unstoppable rise is not effort alone, but a spiritual force that cannot be seen with the eyes. This force is invisible yet all-powerful. It is the divine system of order and increase, a law that governs success, money, opportunity, favor, and timing. It is never confused, never delayed, never unfair. It works the same for every person who understands how to harmonize with it. It does not discriminate by status, education, background, or bank account. It is a law, pure and impartial. It is not impressed by effort. It is moved by alignment, and it responds instantly to faith-filled, conscious words spoken in authority. The moment you speak with faith, you are issuing a command to the universe. The moment you declare a truth, not as wishful thinking, but as spiritual reality, you have entered into agreement with divine law. And when you agree with it, it moves. It moves mountains, obstacles, delays, and illusions. It does not take time to move. Time is irrelevant to law. The only delay is in human resistance in thought, fear in speech, and contradiction in vibration. The law is always active, always ready, always perfect. The ones who experience its power are the ones who step out of effort and into energetic harmony. They stop chasing results and start aligning with the reality they wish to live in. Faith is not just belief. It is the force that molds the unseen into the seen. It is the activator of spiritual law. Faith is the invisible currency that buys all visible manifestations. You cannot pay for wealth with struggle, but you can purchase it with unwavering faith. Speak and it shall be. Decree and it must come to pass. These are not poetic words. They are operational truths in the universe of law. The billionaires of the world, whether spiritual or secular, all operate within this framework. Whether they acknowledge the law or not, they obey it when they think richly, speak confidently, visualize boldly, and act from a sense of completeness. When you align your thoughts with divine abundance, you begin to attract its likeness. When your speech mirrors wealth, wealth begins to echo back to you. When your energy shifts from lack to sufficiency, doors begin to open, paths become clear, resources gather, and people are drawn to assist. The alignment creates the current. It is like electricity, silent, invisible, but once connected, the results are immediate, and the source of this current is divine. You are not the generator, you are the conduit. You do not force abundance, you allow it. You do not chase success, you magnetize it through your alignment with truth. Words are not mere sounds, they are spiritual commands. They carry frequency, they carry form. Each word is a seed, and when sown into the soil of belief, they must produce after their kind. Speak increase, and increase must come. Speak loss, and loss finds a way in. Speak what you fear, and fear will shape your experience. Speak what you believe, and belief will draw it into form. The billionaire does not waste words on limitation. Their speech is precise, intentional, creative. Their language is rich, not only in content, but in vibration. They speak as if it is already done. They talk from the end. They affirm, not because they are trying to convince themselves, but because they are commanding their reality. To live under divine law is to speak life. It is to declare what the higher self knows, even when the lower self doubts. It is to open your mouth in the middle of lack and say, I am prosperous, I am blessed, I am overflowing with divine supply. It is to walk in the energy of already having, even before the outer shows signs. This is not denial of reality. It is the creation of a higher reality. You are not ignoring facts. You are obeying truth. And truth always overrides facts when you remain aligned. Alignment is not an emotion. It is a state of spiritual order. When your thoughts, feelings, and words are unified with divine intention, you are in alignment. This is when miracles become normal. This is when time bends, delays collapse, and favor multiplies. The law cannot resist alignment. It must respond to it. The law does not delay your good. It multiplies your good when you hold the right state. Every billionaire you admire holds a dominant frequency, a state that matches wealth. This is not just personality or behavior. It is vibrational identity. They think abundance, speak opportunity, feel confidence, and act with certainty. This consistency of state is what keeps their flow constant. Many struggle because they are double-minded. They speak wealth but think lack. They visualize increase but feel fear. They act in faith one day and doubt the next. This splits their energy and scrambles the signal. The law does not respond to scattered vibrations. It responds to clarity. It responds to consistency. It responds to wholeness. To correct this, you must become aware of your inner state, not just your thoughts, but your emotional patterns and your spoken word. You must train your entire being to dwell in the vibration of what you desire. This is not effort in the physical sense. It is inner work, spiritual discipline, and conscious creation. You are not called to convince the world of your worth. You are called to agree with divine truth. When you agree that you are worthy, supply begins to show up. When you agree that you are chosen, doors begin to open. When you agree that you are supported, people begin to appear. This agreement is not mental, it is spiritual. It is a soul, deep knowing that activates the law. And once activated, the results are undeniable. Everything around you is responding to your dominant vibration. Money is not logical, it is energetic. It flows to certainty, not need. It gathers around faith, not desperation. It responds to clarity, not confusion. Speak boldly, think abundantly, and feel richly. This is the formula, not from pressure or fear, but from peace and expectancy. Expectation is faith in motion. It is the bridge between belief and manifestation. When you expect good, you are giving the law a clear instruction. When you doubt, you send mixed signals. Stay steady. Stay certain. Stay aligned. Every day is a chance to align. You do not need to be perfect. You need to be persistent. Speak words of wealth every morning. Set the tone with truth. Decree what you wish to see. Speak to your day. Command the divine order to govern your affairs. Say, everything is working in my favor. Money flows to me freely. Divine timing is unfolding. I am a magnet for increase. These are not just affirmations. They are declarations. They are the spoken vibration of someone who knows that the law works and is always at work. You will find that things begin to shift, not because you are doing more, but because you are believing more deeply. The pressure will lift, the opportunities will come, the right people will arrive, your work will be blessed, not because you forced it, but because you aligned with it. The law does not play favorites. It is not manipulated by emotion. It responds to divine faith, divine identity, divine speech, and divine clarity. This is why spiritual alignment is the highest form of strategy. You can have every tactic in the world, but if your spirit is out of sync, results will be delayed. But when your spirit is tuned, the most unlikely path becomes the fastest route. The most unexpected connection becomes the open door. You are not subject to natural rules. You are backed by supernatural law. But you must align your thoughts, align your heart, align your words. When you do, the flow begins, not from effort, but from faith, not from control, but from connection, not from forcing, but from following divine law. Your words shape your wealth. What you declare with power becomes your reality. This is not metaphor, this is spiritual law. The tongue is a creative force. Every sound that proceeds from your lips carries the frequency of creation or destruction. You are always speaking into your future. You are always shaping the unseen into the seen with every sentence you utter. Your words are seeds, and each one bears fruit according to its kind. When you speak of lack, you plant lack. When you speak of abundance, you plant abundance. There is no neutral word. Every word either builds or tears down, creates or delays, opens or closes. The billionaires of this world, consciously or not, speak with authority. Their language is not timid. Their declarations are not apologetic. They do not beg life. They command it. They speak with the conviction of one who knows that their words have power. And because they speak with power, power follows. The universe is a mirror, always echoing back the dominant language of your soul. Speak poverty, and poverty multiplies. Speak increase, and increase begins to gather. This is law, not luck. This is design, not randomness. The spoken word has always been the original tool of creation. In the beginning, the word was spoken, and form followed. This divine principle never changed. You are made in the image of the Creator, and you were given that same ability to call things that are not as though they were. Not to beg for them, but to summon them. Not to wish for them, but to decree them. A billionaire spirit is not one that reacts to what is, but one that speaks what must be. They do not describe the weather. They command the climate. They do not narrate the problem. They announce the solution. If you truly understood the power of your tongue, you would guard your words as sacred instruments. You would no longer speak carelessly. You would no longer joke about failure or lack. You would refuse to speak words of fear, doubt, or defeat. You would discipline your speech like a master disciplines their craft. Every word would be chosen. Every phrase would be intentional, because with every word, you are constructing your financial reality. You are speaking your future bank balance. You are shaping your atmosphere. You are instructing the law to move in a specific direction. This is why declarations are not just affirmations. They are spiritual orders. To declare something is to carve it into the unseen. It is to inscribe truth upon the canvas of possibility. A declaration is not a hope. It is a decree. You do not speak what you want someday. You speak what already exists in divine mind, and you give it permission to manifest. You are not asking life to bless you. You are instructing it to align with what is already true in spirit. This is the way of the spiritually rich, the mentally wealthy, the energetically abundant. Your mouth must agree with your vision. It is not enough to dream if you contradict that dream with your words. You cannot envision millions and then speak of struggle. You cannot imagine overflow and then speak constantly of what you lack. The mouth must align with the heart, and the heart must be rooted in faith. When your inner world and your outer words match, the vibration becomes undeniable. The law responds to the harmony of belief, not the noise of confusion. Speak your dream until your life catches up with your language. There is a divine rhythm to the universe, and your words either align with it or break it. Speak in harmony, and things will unfold effortlessly. Speak in contradiction, and you will feel resistance. The most successful people in the world may not always use spiritual language. but their speech is spiritually accurate. They speak possibility. They speak ownership. They speak results. They speak from authority, not anxiety. They use their words to shape the terrain before they walk it. They use their speech to prepare the soil before planting the seed. This is spiritual architecture. This is how you build the future with invisible tools. Watch a billionaire speak, and you will rarely hear passivity. You will rarely hear phrases like "I hope," "maybe," "if only," or "someday." These are not the words of builders. These are the words of drifters. A builder says, "This is happening. It is done. I will have it. It is coming now." The force behind their words moves mountains. Their speech is a tool of manifestation, not a report of current conditions. They do not narrate life, they create life. They do not repeat what is, they establish what will be. The divine law of speech says, asterisk asterisk, life and death are in the power of the tongue. Asterisk asterisk, every wealthy soul understands this truth, whether they read scripture or not. They use their tongue to speak life into their business, their investments, their relationships, their bodies, their ideas. They speak to the invisible, and the invisible responds. If a billionaire loses everything, they can rebuild, not because of their money, but because of their mouth. Their speech holds the blueprint. Their tongue carries the original architecture. Wealth is not in their possessions. It is in their declarations. You must begin to speak as one who holds spiritual authority. Stop waiting for the evidence to give you permission. Speak it until the evidence appears. Call it until it arrives. Prophesy your wealth. Decree your income. Announce your overflow. Let your mouth become the pen of a ready writer, writing new chapters of prosperity, favor, and divine flow. Say, "I am rich in every way. Wealth flows to me freely. Every dollar I spend returns multiplied. Money obeys my voice. I speak abundance, and it surrounds me." Your speech will either enslave you or liberate you. It will either anchor you to the past or launch you into your destiny. Use it wisely. Use it boldly. Speak like you know who you are. Speak like you know whose you are. The law of abundance does not respond to timid requests. It responds to bold declarations. It does not respond to emotional pleading. It responds to aligned authority. There is a time to pray, but there is also a time to speak. And when you speak, speak from the place of already having. Speak from the realm of the finished work. Words are also prophetic. When spoken with faith, they go before you and prepare the way. They shape the conversation you haven't had yet. They open the doors you haven't approached yet. They arrange the resources you haven't touched yet. You may speak today and not see results until tomorrow, but results are guaranteed when the vibration is pure. The law is not delayed, it is precise. Your words move ahead of you and shape the reality you are about to enter. Speak well of your future. Speak kindly to your wealth. Speak increase to your income. Call your clients. Summon your sales. Command your inheritance. Guard your mouth in every conversation. Refuse to engage in complaint. Refuse to talk down your vision. Refuse to rehearse your fears aloud. Every complaint is a prayer for more of what you don't want. Every doubt spoken becomes a barrier to your own flow. Even in private moments, when emotions rise, speak what you want, not what you fear. Say, "This too shall prosper. Even this is working for my increase. I cannot be stopped. Divine order is bringing good from this." Speak that, even when you don't feel it. Your words lead, and your feelings will follow. The repetition of truth builds spiritual momentum. Say it often. Say it with power. Say it until your subconscious believes it without question. Say it until your body aligns, your emotions align, your circumstances align. This is how you become the master of your wealth, not its servant. This is how you rise above the noise and enter into flow. Say it while you're waiting. Say it while you're building. Say it when you see nothing, and say it when everything arrives. Your speech is sacred. Your voice is power. Speak now, and shape the wealth that is already waiting for your command. Abundance flows through purpose. True riches come when you serve with intention. The greatest fortunes in the world are not built on chance, but on alignment with a deeper reason for existence. Every billionaire who has sustained wealth, influence, and impact has discovered this truth, whether they speak it in spiritual language or not. The energy behind their wealth is not just about accumulation. It is about contribution. Money follows meaning. Prosperity is attracted to purpose like rivers flow to the ocean. When you discover the purpose for which you were born, you unlock the spiritual vault that holds your divine supply. Purpose is the secret code that awakens the flow of resources. When you align your gifts with a higher reason beyond survival, beyond status, beyond gain, you become a magnet for divine partnerships, divine opportunities, and divine compensation. The universe supports those who support the collective good. There is a divine intelligence that moves to finance purpose. It releases more to those who will multiply it for good. It entrusts abundance to those whose hearts are clear and whose motives are higher than greed. The law does not just reward hard work, it rewards right work. Work done in alignment with one's calling opens the floodgates. There is something deep within every human that knows they were made for more than the mundane. Something whispers to the soul, urging them to move beyond the shallow pursuit of things and into the depth of meaningful creation. This is not a fantasy. It is a divine nudge. Purpose is not optional. It is foundational. It is the root system of real wealth. When you plant yourself in your true calling, you begin to grow not only in resources, but in power, peace, and fulfillment. You begin to wake up excited to give, rather than anxious to get. You begin to see yourself as a steward, not just a consumer. The billionaires who live with impact have tapped into this current. They build not just for profit, but for purpose. They lead not just for power, but for impact. They are driven by a vision greater than self-interest, and because of that, the law of increase sustains them. Their supply doesn't just rise once. It multiplies and regenerates. Their wealth becomes generational. Not because they had better luck, but because they had deeper alignment. They understood that money is not the goal. It is the tool that serves something greater than itself. When you serve your purpose, the universe begins to serve you. When you stop asking, "What can I get?" and start asking, "What can I give?" you unlock a different realm of prosperity. This kind of prosperity is not fleeting. It is not stolen. It is not built on exploitation. It is rooted in divine order. It is fed by the current of contribution. Every time you step into service, you are stepping into flow, and flow brings favor, finances, and fulfillment. You begin to receive not just what you need, but more than enough to fulfill what you were born to do. Purpose activates passion, and passion draws power. There is nothing more magnetic than a person on fire with their calling. People want to follow them. Investors want to back them. Opportunities want to find them. When you are aligned, the energy you carry changes the atmosphere around you. You don't have to beg or chase. You simply show up, and the doors open, because the law recognizes a soul walking in divine design. The law moves for clarity, for boldness, for intention. When you declare, "This is what I was born to do," the universe responds with, "Then here is what you need to do it." Serving with intention means everything you build has a soul. It means your business is more than a product. Your brand is more than a name. Your income is more than digits. It is purpose in motion. It is meaning in currency. It is mission dressed in financial form. When people interact with you, they feel the integrity. They sense the depth. They are drawn not just to what you sell, but to the light behind it. The world may be full of noise, but those who walk in purpose shine without shouting. Their results speak for them. Their impact reveals them. Purpose brings clarity, and clarity attracts direction. When you know why you're here, you stop wasting time. You stop getting distracted by trends, opinions, and empty pursuits. You become focused, and with focus comes power. Power to say no to what doesn't align. Power to say yes to what stretches you. power to build with confidence, to create with conviction, to move with spiritual speed. The wealth that flows through such clarity is unstoppable, because purpose never lacks provision. The moment you commit, the supply begins to follow. It may not all appear at once, but the law of progression ensures it will meet you step by step. There is divine timing to purpose. When you are in alignment, the right opportunities come not early, not late, but precisely when needed. You begin to live in rhythm, not reaction. You begin to receive by flow, not force. You are no longer chasing money. You are channeling it. It becomes a river through which your vision is watered. You understand that you are not here to hoard, but to harvest, not to cling, but to circulate. The law blesses those who do not block the flow. It honors the ones who use their wealth to elevate others. Every idea birthed from purpose is already pregnant with provision. You don't need to fabricate success. You need to follow divine instruction. You don't need to manipulate outcomes. You need to steward what's been placed in your spirit. If the idea came from truth, then the supply for it is guaranteed, but only when you trust the process, only when you move, even when you can't see all the steps. Purpose rarely gives you the whole plan. It gives you the next move, and when you obey that move, the next resource is revealed. Your gift is the vehicle of your purpose. It was given to you not for decoration, but for delivery. What you carry inside you is not small. It is not ordinary. It is encoded with the very frequency that wealth is attracted to. When you use your gift with clarity, the law cannot help but reward you. It must bring the people who need it. It must bring the platforms to express it. It must bring the money to sustain it. Because when you give from your gift, you are giving from source. You are feeding the world something real. And real always gets rewarded. Many people pursue money without purpose and wonder why they feel empty when they get it. Because money alone is not success. Money without meaning is noise. It can't sustain joy. It can't fulfill spirit, but money with meaning becomes legacy. It becomes a force for good. It becomes an extension of your calling. It becomes evidence that you listened to the voice within. The billionaires who rise and stay are the ones who discovered what they were here to do. And they did it with full heart, full voice, full surrender. And the law made sure they had more than enough. When you step into your purpose, things begin to align. You start attracting aligned relationships, aligned ideas, aligned doors. You no longer need to try to fit in rooms that are not for you. The right rooms begin to call you in. The right tables make space for your voice. The right clients seek you out, because purpose speaks louder than marketing. It radiates through everything you touch. It draws the resources, because the resources were made for it. Your wealth is not just about you. It is about who you are called to impact. When you hoard your gift, you block the flow. When you release it, you activate divine compensation. The law of circulation guarantees that what you give in truth must come back multiplied. You don't lose by giving purpose. You rise by it. You don't diminish by serving. You are enlarged by it. The world may celebrate fame and speed, but the law honors authenticity and alignment. And nothing can match the prosperity that comes when you find your reason and walk in it without apology. Let your life become a vessel of intention. Let your business be an extension of your calling. Let your decisions be guided by truth, not trend. Let your wealth be fueled by purpose, not pressure. When you do, the law will move to support you in ways that logic cannot explain. It will bring you to places your hands alone could not build, because purpose is magnetic. Purpose is sacred. Purpose is the code to sustained wealth, real joy, and divine overflow. You must act as if it is already yours. Belief is the seed, and manifestation is the harvest. This is one of the most powerful and exact spiritual laws available to any human being. It is not a suggestion, not a feel-good statement, but a universal principle backed by divine intelligence. The law does not wait for evidence to begin responding. It moves the moment you move into alignment with what you desire. When you act as if it is already yours, you are no longer waiting. You are walking. You are no longer hoping. You are living in the vibration of your answered prayer. This is not pretending. It is positioning. You are positioning your mind, your energy, your speech, and your behavior in the same frequency as the reality you are calling in. Every billionaire who has created sustainable wealth has, at some point, practiced this spiritual discipline, whether they knew it consciously or not. They stepped into belief before the results showed up. They carried themselves with confidence before the wealth arrived. They made decisions not based on fear of lack, but on the awareness of future abundance. They acted in faith, not in fear. They walked like it was already done. And because they did, the law had no choice but to obey. The law mirrors your dominant belief, not your words alone. What you live, you get. What you embody, you attract. What you expect, you experience. Belief is more than mental agreement. It is the energy you exude, the posture you carry, the tone in your voice, the steadiness in your decisions. You cannot fake belief. You either live in it or you don't. And the moment you live in it, you shift dimensions. You move from the realm of waiting into the realm of receiving. You begin to walk as if the doors are already open, the funds already transferred, the opportunities already prepared. You begin to talk like one who is already supplied. You begin to move with the grace of one who knows the end from the beginning. That movement is what activates manifestation. It is the signal that tells the universe, this person is ready. And readiness always attracts release. You do not plant a seed and dig it up the next day to check if it's growing. You plant it, you water it, you believe in the harvest. You tend to it with faith. You act as if the sprout is coming even when the soil still looks empty. Your belief is the water, your expectation is the sunlight, your behavior is the proof of trust. When you act in alignment with what you desire, you fertilize the process of creation. Most people delay their own harvest because they walk in contradiction. They pray for millions but behave as if they are still bound by thousands. They dream of expansion but operate in survival mode. The energy does not match the outcome they desire. And because the law reads energy, not just words, it waits until the signal is clear. Acting as if does not mean reckless spending or foolish choices. It means embodying the identity of the version of you who already has what you desire. It means making decisions from a place of trust, not panic. It means showing up with the energy of fullness, not emptiness. It means eliminating language that contradicts your vision. If you desire to be wealthy, speak as the wealthy speak. Think as the wealthy think. Plan as the wealthy plan. Walk into a room as if you belong, not as if you're asking for permission. This is not arrogance. It is alignment. You are stepping into agreement with your future when you act as if you are creating a space for the new to enter. The law cannot fill what is already occupied by fear, doubt, and small thinking. You must empty yourself of the old to receive the new. You must let go of behaviors, patterns, and identities that contradict what you say you want. The billionaire mind, it is not just about having money, it's about being a vibrational match to wealth long before the world sees it. They build before the capital shows up. They speak as if the audience is already gathered. They lead as if the vision is already global. They live from the end, and that energy accelerates the process. Living from the end is one of the most effective spiritual technologies available. It means you imagine, feel, speak, and act from the place where your desire is already fulfilled. You are not reaching for it. You are living in it. You are not looking for signs. You are the sign. You are not begging the universe. You are participating in its natural law. Acting as if is not a lie. It is the higher truth. The outer world is a delayed reflection of the inner world. When you change your inner state, the outer has no choice but to align, but it will not do so instantly, and that is where most lose their faith. They act for a moment, but not long enough. They believe for a day, but not through the storm. But those who walk consistently in alignment will always harvest what they plant. There is power in consistency. When you act as if every day, you create a new normal. Your nervous system adapts. Your subconscious accepts. Your energy stabilizes. Your actions become congruent. You no longer bounce between belief and doubt. You live in certainty. And this certainty becomes a beacon. It draws ideas, resources, and people to you. It changes how others perceive you. It shifts how opportunities are presented. Because energy is always broadcasting, and the one who lives in belief sends out a frequency of inevitability. They no longer ask if it will happen. They know it already has. You must carry yourself like your wealth already exists. Your voice should carry the tone of ownership, not apology. Your steps should echo assurance, not hesitation. Your decisions should come from peace, not fear. You don't need to announce it. You need to embody it. You don't need to prove it. You need to live it. When you carry the vibration of what you want, you attract the form of what you want. When you carry the energy of already having it, the form has no choice but to follow. The law cannot deny a person who is living in full agreement with what they've asked for acting, as if also requires that you clear away all forms of contradiction. You cannot say one thing and live another. You cannot speak abundance and entertain scarcity in your behavior. You cannot desire freedom and act as if you are still imprisoned by the past. There must be unity between your inner and outer world. That unity is what creates speed in manifestation. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions all say the same thing, the law responds without hesitation. Your coherence becomes your superpower. Your agreement becomes your access. You do not wait for money to start thinking richly. You do not wait for the stage to start preparing your message. You do not wait for the client to start treating your work like it matters. You do these things now, not because they are present, but because they are promised. You do them because you are signaling to the divine realm that you trust the process. You are proving to yourself that you are ready to receive. You are conditioning your environment to support what is coming. You are making space, both mentally and physically, for the increase that is already on its way. This is how wealth flows to those who act as if. It sees a vessel ready, a path clear, a belief unwavering. There is no confusion in that kind of signal. There is no hesitation in that kind of posture. That kind of belief moves things in the invisible world that the natural eye cannot perceive. It opens timelines that were previously closed. It activates people who didn't even know they needed to help you. It shifts circumstances with surgical precision. Not because you forced it, but because you walked in agreement with it. You are never waiting on money. You are waiting on readiness. You are never being tested by delay. You are being invited to embody belief. The moment you step into the identity of the one who already has what they desire, the law begins to bring it to you. But you must stay in that identity. You must protect it. You must nurture it. It must become your default setting, not your occasional ritual. This is not something you turn on and off. It is a way of life, a way of walking, a way of thinking, a way of creating. You become the person before you receive the outcome. The billionaire lives by this. They do not speak about what might happen. They declare what already is. They do not tiptoe around their vision. They walk in it boldly. They do not wait for others to approve. They approve themselves. They live from their future as if it is now. And because of that, the future bows to them. The universe cannot ignore a person who already believes it's done. The divine cannot withhold from a soul that is already living the answered prayer. This is not arrogance. It is alignment. It is the embodiment of divine law. And when you live in it, nothing is impossible to you.